friends, welcome back to Not Like Homesteading. Today we're in the garden and we are finally starting to chop some of these plants up so we can get them out of the garden so we can get some more of our fall plants into the garden. I have been putting this off for so long, y'all, because for one, it is just a time-consuming task. For two, my summer plants, many of them are just doing like so well. I don't want to let go of them, but in order to get some real food into the ground that we can actually eat, that's not just used to kind of like spruce up whatever you're making, you definitely have to make some changes and fast. I think you're behind. So I'm attempting to fix that today, and I wanted to bring you guys along. I'm going to be moving around, cutting down trees. I'm also going to fertilize most of the beds, and I will probably do some pruning of some specific like trees, like fruit trees and that kind of stuff, as well as the tomatoes, because those things are long overdue. My fruit trees, specifically the raspberries, oh, they look so bad. So I definitely want to fix that. One of them is fruiting. I would like to get some more fruit off of it if I can, but what's up there now, I'm definitely not going anywhere near it, so it does need to come off. So let's go ahead and jump into this because we have a lot to do. The branches to this eggplant is so thick that I think I'm gonna have to get my actual like shrub and tree cutting shears to cut the rest of that down. Like that's how thick it is and how many branches are actually on this eggplant. But this plant produced so much eggplant, like even with what we ate, we just couldn't keep up with it. So it's just a lot of fruit going to waste. I'm definitely gonna have to think about how I plant eggplant in the next year, but these plants definitely are prolific. Something to have if you're looking for plants that are productive in your garden. All right, y'all. So I had to go I was gonna say, what the heck is that? Had to go get the actual tree shears because that's how thick these tree stems are, these trunks. So I'm gonna cut the rest of the eggplant down, and I'm gonna come back and cut this Anaheim pepper out as well. And then there's some other peppers in this bed that I'm gonna be pulling out too. I do have my echinacea in here as well as like some chamomile. I'm going to leave the echinacea. I am gonna pull the chamomile because I do need to get brassicas into this bed. But the echinacea, I thought it had died, and apparently it, I guess it wasn't growing well in the heat, but it's starting to put on like its growth now. So I know that I recently read that echinacea doesn't actually flower in its first year. So I'm hoping that by next year I'll have like 2 really pretty echinacea plants, and I'll probably end up splitting them up for the spring. What in the heck? I'm so over these damn bugs. But I think instead of chopping this one completely down, instead of chopping it into pieces, which is easier for the purpose of the garbage, I'm just gonna go ahead and chop it at the base. And then I'll pull my peppers and chop it up once I have it out. These weren't that bad. So these are the Anaheims that were left on that particular tree. I still have another Anaheim tree that I'm going to pull out. It looks like we're gonna get some like bell peppers out of this area too, and lots more arbol chili peppers. But I'm definitely satisfied with the number of arbol chili peppers that I've gotten this season, so I am not at all like upset about pulling those out right now. The only thing I really just want to continue to hold on to are my bell peppers and my serranos, because if as many of those I can get, and then the ones that I can use fresh would be great. So that'll probably be the last bed. This bed next to it, that'll be the last bed that I take all this stuff out of. I'm gonna work on this bed, the bed next to the full bed of bell peppers, and then I'll see what else I can get done in this particular window. We definitely have some new plants sprouting in the bed. I don't know what they are. I want to say that they are basil, but I'm not really sure. And it's like 3 new plants. They're gonna have to come out because they're not where I can identify them, and I'm not gonna leave them. So it's nice to know that like there are things that are self-seeding right now, because next year maybe I won't have to actually plant some of these things, but I just hope they come up in time enough for me to know what they are before I start like actually planting. Yeah, a couple of nice bell peppers off of some of these plants too. This was a green bell, I'm pretty sure of it. Oh. But it looks like it's turning yellow, so I don't know. I thought it was a green bell when I planted it, but I'm wondering if it was a yellow bell and I never just gave the peppers a chance to turn yellow, because that looks like a yellow pepper to me. Alright y'all, so this bed is empty now with the exception of the echinacea, which is over here. So on that side, and then the chamomile. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the chamomile out because, like I said, I'm trying to make this a full brassica bed. And then I just wanted to show y'all this. This is the root system from the green eggplant. This root system was massive. It basically like dug up this whole section of my bed in order to get this out. I actually had to have Aaron come out and help me get that out of there. But I think that's crazy, like how massive. It's like no wonder that tree was so big. So definitely a prolific plant if you're looking for plants that are going to be super productive in the garden that yield a good amount of food to feed. I am going to have to consider whether or not that actually is a viable thing to plant for us next year, because we just can't keep up with the plant. I'm just really getting introduced to eggplant, so eating that much eggplant just was not on the menu for me. But I am going to do this bed next. But I'm not going to do it tonight because it is just way too humid out here. I had to go inside and take a nap. Like, it was so hot and I was so drained earlier that I just couldn't even keep my eyes open. But that's the one that we're going to be doing next. I pulled out the tomatillo finally. So y'all see that grow bag is empty. And as I was like looking around, I'm noticing that these like flea beetles, and not specifically here, but in this like large bed in the back, they're having a field day with my plants. I keep spraying and I keep spraying like the eggs off. I haven't like done any actual like chemical sprays, and I say chemical meaning organic sprays, but it is time to do it again. They can decimate a plant in like a week if the plant is large. I saw this morning that there was some like eggs on this squash plant. You can see the whole damage and the leaf damage, but they're making their way across, and it's like it seems like they migrate pretty quickly, but they also attack like my green bean plant, and it's just like I'm pretty sure that that is flea beetle damage, with the fact that the chlorophyll is just going in the plant. But there are some other things going on. It looks like there might be some like leaf curlers around too. So I do have to get this bed covered, and how I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know. But I guess I'll just, you know, drape the tool as much as I can, and I'll have to do like double layers or triple layers, however I need to get them across the top of this. So I was like wondering if I made it maybe too big. But the thing I am thinking about is like tall crops like Brussels sprouts, because I plan to put a couple of Brussels sprouts in this bed too. And then I want those plants to be able to have the room that they need without, and be covered without touching the actual net. But for today, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out this white eggplant plant that is in this bed in front of me with the tomatoes. And then I think that's all the plant pulling I'm gonna do for today. And then tomorrow we can work on the bed that's on this side. So y'all, I know people are like, why don't you compost that? I don't have a composter, and I just am not in the headspace right now to attempt to mash all of that up and try to put it in the beds to like raw compost. I know there's an opportunity being missed here, but it is totally fine. There's always next time. So I'm ready for these plants to be out because they're taking up a lot of space, and at this point we're not using the food or the fruit that it's growing. So I was like, you know what, we have to get rid of it. I said my little bees are going to be sad tomorrow when they come looking for this plant, because they love these eggplant flowers. But fortunately there are other flowers like pepper flowers and actual flowers around the garden for them to enjoy. So sorry little bees, sorry to anybody that's feeling the compost pain, but this stuff has to get out the garden. Alright y'all, it is the next day. So I've been out here watering and fertilizing. I tried to get an early start, but my neighbor was having some landscaping done, and it was just like way too noisy to turn the camera on. So I went ahead and I pretty much watered the entire garden as well as fertilized. I think the fertilizer was like a little bit overdue for some of the things that I had like transplanted into the garden recently, but I'm going to go ahead and finish, or rather clean out the other bed that I wanted to clean out. And I probably will end up pulling like the squash plants in the next like week or so. And I'm saying that because we keep ending up with these like black clusters of things. Now to me they look like eggs, but they very well could be just aphids, but they're like literally in droves. I sprayed them off. I sprayed some off yesterday, and this morning I came out, it's like the plant leaves were pretty much covered again in them. So I was like, I'm guessing that they're like black aphids that just are clustered in like major groups. But I'm kind of over it. The squash, like, they don't have significant fruit on the plants. Any fruit that comes up keeps getting attacked by like the pickle worm. I think I got lucky with like one fruit off of each plant, and on the Guatemalan blue plant, I don't even think that fruit is gonna grow to the true size that it's supposed to at this point. So it is time for me to start prepping the bed for planting my onions. So I would rather be doing that than just wasting space and energy trying to fight off bugs, knowing that the plant's at the end of its life and it's probably the reason that they're attacking the plant in the first place. And I wanted to actually start my onion seeds like directly in the beds using like the square foot gardening method, but I think I might end up having to just kind of seed them, let them grow for like 2 weeks or something once they come up, and then that'll give me time to like focus on properly amending that bed and getting it ready to plant in them. Right now, I don't want to put that on myself unnecessarily because I still have 1-2 spaces that need to be planted. I do have the bed where like I just pulled out the white eggplant, that there is room to plant some things. Now I can't plant brassicas there obviously because I have like tomatoes and peppers there, but I can probably get some like herbs or some, like some herbs or winter herbs like parsley or something in there, so I can get those things going and just utilize that space to maximize like what I'm growing. And I'm kind of back and forth about like my Capitano bush beans too, because I don't know, the leaves look so bad in the beginning. It seemed like some of the beans were stunted, which I think is a result of growing with marigolds in the bed, which that is something that, it's recommended that you don't do. Now it seems like some of the plants are actually growing proper beans, but it is something about these beans that I just don't like. They look really, really pretty on the package, but when they grow, they just do not grow pretty like that. And maybe I'm doing something wrong. The first time they were planted totally fine. Every time I picked one, of course it came with like a dead fly. I don't know why I think it might have been fungus gnats or either fruit flies that seem to just be completely attracted to them. It probably was fungus gnats. And there was always a dead fly on them, but they just don't grow uniformly. They seem to struggle to just out the gate to get to the size that they're supposed to, and they just don't look as pretty as they should, or at least the way they're presented on the package. So I'm contemplating whether or not I should pull them up, even though some of them look like they're starting to grow the way that they should, but it's not enough for me to be impressed by the actual bean, but also definitely not enough for me to be taking up virtually a whole 4x4 space with this one crop, so I'm just like at the point where it's like anything that's not producing, or it's not producing the way it should be producing, really just needs to get out the garden. And I think that more so has to do with just the cultivation piece rather than even, not getting enough food. I still have to do maintenance on these beds. I still have to fertilize. I still have to, make sure I'm keeping whatever pest presence down. And it's just like not worth the work when I'm not even getting like a major benefit from it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pull that, but that probably won't be today either, because before I even focus on getting those 2 beds cleaned out, I really want to get these 2 beds amended that I'm working on, that I was working on yesterday and today, and then get what transplants I have ready out into the beds, because I am letting my transplants go a little bit too long. It seems like they're just coming up really quickly. It's not really me, because I'm going to be honest, they're not in there long. I think I planted rutabagas and a second round of like Easter magnet broccoli, I want to say maybe 10 days ago. The plants are already leggy, and I'm just like, what is going on? So I feel like I'm just wasting seeds at this point, and it could just be because it's still, in the 80s. It's extremely humid here, still, and I think we're supposed to shift down to like the mid 70s, mid to high 70s after today. But either way, it's just really hot for like some of these plants, and they're coming up rather quickly. So I've just been seeding and reseeding, and I'm over it, if I'm being honest. So let's go ahead and get this last bed cleaned out. Once I do this, I'm going to go inside and place my order for my compost and whatever soil I need for these 2 beds. And then I'll try to get those amended and planted in the next couple of days. I'll probably share that with you guys in like another video, because it probably is not going to get done today. So let's go ahead and get this bed cleaned out and just make the best of today. And after that, I think I'm going to call it quits. I might cut up some of these plants that are still on my table and get rid of them too. And then, yeah, that'll be it. We'll call it good and give ourselves a little bit of grace for the work we did. So I went ahead and finished cleaning out this bed. I trimmed back the oregano and I left that there. I went ahead and moved the celery over next to the oregano, and then I transplanted one of the eggplants into a grow bag so that we can continue to have that eggplant throughout the fall. But that was everything that we did today. I appreciate you guys for coming along. I am really excited about transitioning to the fall crops, and I hope that you guys are excited to see that in upcoming videos. Don't forget to check out the affiliate links in the description box. I link all of my favorite garden products that I use every day there. Let's keep learning, sowing, and growing together, friends. Until our next garden update. Bye.